Hello everybody and welcome back for some more TEW 2016. I know there's been a bit of a gap between some of the episodes lately. I'm gonna hopefully pre-record some stuff soon so that doesn't happen as much, but basically since I started this new job I just haven't had as much time to record anything. I'm also currently at 387 subs at the time of this recording, and my goal is to hit 400 by the end of the month, so if you are not already subscribed, I would appreciate if you would drop me a sub and also hit like on the video because it helps out the video. Before I actually jump into the card, I just want to mention that when I did Heat, I wasn't really paying attention because typically I don't really choose the venues, but I noticed Heat was doing really bad for some reason, and then I kept seeing this thing that said there was a language barrier, which I was like, I don't know what that means. But then once I ended the episode, I realized that the venue we booked was in Puerto Rico, which since Raw's on the same day, it's also stuck there, so the ratings are probably not going to be as good in this episode, so let's just go ahead and jump in. So we're starting off the show tonight with a pre-show match with Val Venus against Paul London. I recently hired Paul London on OVW, so I wanted to give him a tryout tonight. His overall was 14, so he still has some training to do. Then in our next pre-show match, we have Rhino facing off against D'Lo Brown. I gave Rhino the win. I'm trying to build him up to a main eventer, and I didn't have anywhere to put him in the card tonight, so I figured I'd throw him in the pre-show. And then third and final pre-show match, we have Booker T facing off against Christopher Nowinski. Obviously Booker T got the win. Christopher Nowinski actually did pretty good getting that 41 overall. And then Booker T, I didn't give him a match, but he is going to be in the show technically, but I just wanted to give him a match on the pre-show. Then we open up the show. This is what I was talking about with the whole language barrier thing, so everything's going to be a little lower tonight, but I did a freestyle angle between Kane, RVD, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. They're going to be in a tag team match for tonight's main event. Also, quickly wanted to mention too, I got a suggestion from a user named Britch902 telling me that I should try to create more angles rather than doing the freestyle, which I realized that you could make your own angles, but for some reason I never really thought about it, so I'm gonna probably try that out in the future. I didn't with this episode because of the whole rating thing, but just wanted to say thank you for your suggestion, and I will definitely be trying that out in future episodes. Then in our opening match, we have Christian facing off against Tommy Dreamer. Christian picks up the win, and the match itself did pretty decently. We finally got Tommy on the main show. I might have put him on last week, I don't remember because it's been so long since I've recorded episodes, but yeah, hopefully we could get guys like Tommy on the show more often. Then we have another freestyle angle with Christian and Chris Jericho. They're basically ranting on because they are now a tag team and they are going to own the WWE. This is going to be an interesting show going forward, seeing how these two got a 35 rating. Then we have an angle with Molly Holly and Trish backstage. Trish is pretty much hyping up Molly Holly because she's got a women's champion match against Victoria tonight. And in the last episode, we had Molly Holly go from a heel to a face. And actually, I gotta quickly handle these changes because we changed her gimmick up as well. I ended up giving her a hero gimmick because I couldn't really think of a good one for Molly Holly. And at one point, she was Mighty Molly. And I don't think I'm gonna do the Mighty Molly gimmick, but at least as a hero, it's just a good for a face. So let's go ahead and complete the change. And then it says that the change was too soon after her last one, but it still got a great rating, so that doesn't really matter to me. Then we have the championship match between Molly Holly and Victoria. Victoria defends and picks up the win, and then afterwards we have Victoria. She went after Molly Holly, and then Stevie Richards came in. He didn't actually attack Molly Holly, but he distracted her so Victoria could attack, and then Trish Stratus came out for the save. Then we got another pretty awful rating. Luckily, at least the matches themselves are doing pretty good. It's just, I guess, where they have to talk, but then of course you have to have the talking angles or else they get mad at you for not having angles. But we have an interview. It started off with Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley talking about their tag team match, and then of course William Regal and Lance Storm come in, and it turns into a big heated argument. The match itself is going to be like a 8-person tag team, so we'll see how that goes, which actually it's the next match. Then we have the tag team match itself with the Dudleys facing off against Lance Storm and William Regal versus Evolution versus 3 Minute Warning. The Dudleys pick up the win and defend their tag team champion. Then we have just another promo with Chris Jericho ranting on about how he's going to keep the Intercontinental Champion and Booker T's not going to win and all of that good stuff. Then it turns into a match with Chris Jericho facing off against Goldust. Chris Jericho picks up the win and he did a pretty good 93 rating. I'm noticing too, even though like the promos are doing horrible, a lot of the matches are still getting like really good ratings, so hopefully maybe that will save us for tonight's show. Next we have I did another freestyle, but basically what it is Stevie Richards came out. He is ranting to the crowd how he's tired of being viewed as a psycho. He wants to be a main eventer in the WWE, and he challenges anybody in the backstage to a match, and he guarantees he's going to win the match. And then Goldberg comes out and accepts the challenge, and now Stevie Richards is having some second thoughts about challenging everybody in the backstage, but of course he can't back out of his challenge, so Goldberg ends up dominating. It was literally a 3-minute match, so yeah, Stevie Richards did not end up picking up his win, even though he promised everybody he was going to get the win tonight. Then I just did a quick angle, pretty much just to fill in some time, but we just have Ric Flair talking to Triple H, saying that he's going to win the tag team match tonight, and he will do anything to make sure that he wins the tag team match. Then in our main event, we have Triple H and Kane facing off against RVD and Shawn Michaels. It did pretty good. Of course, we had Triple H and Kane pick up the victory. Batista and Randy Orton come out and distract RVD and Shawn Michaels, which of course is typical for Evolution to do during any of their matches. And then we end the show with Evolution just having a big celebration because they gotta do it Evolution style. So now it should be interesting to see how we did, so let's go ahead and click end show and see what we got. 76, so it was a little on the low side, but I'm actually okay with that because I thought it was going to be a little worse. But the good thing about 76 too is it's not really going to hurt us that much. We didn't like gain popularity, but we didn't lose any either, so I will accept that, especially being in a different country. So I guess now we can go ahead, view the emails, see it's probably just a bunch of people complaining as usual. And yeah, Doug Basham's like, I want to be brought up to the main show, but I'm pretty sure when we tested him, he only got like an 8. I meant to mute my phone, but of course it's going off now. TNN's unhappy. It's only one show, so we can make it up to them next week. Raw got a 9.57 TV rating. And Triple H thinks Christopher Nowinski can't sell anything worth a damn in his opinion. It's kind of funny though, because Hulk Hogan really likes Christopher Nowinski, and I don't think I'm going to turn him into a main eventer, but I'll at least build him up to like a mid-carder. And then Johnny Ace, I guess, does not like Christopher Nowinski either. Damn. So let's go ahead, delete all of those, and then before I end the episode, let's go ahead and check out the heat rating, which, yeah, this is like definitely the worst heat, but I didn't really put much effort into it either. I ended up having AJ Styles debut on there so that this way he could start getting some show experience. And then we had Brian Kendrick defeat Juventud. And then in our main event, we had Raven defeat X-Pac because in the last episode, we broke Just Incredible. So now X-Pac is going to be a singles competitor for a little while, unless I end up giving him a new partner. So that's going to be it for today's episode. If you guys have any suggestions, definitely drop them in the comment. I always read them, and then I have some that I didn't talk about in this episode, but they relate to SmackDown, so we'll probably go over them next time, possibly. And then if you guys also have any anybody you want me to sign. Pretty much anybody you can think of from this era is probably in the game. There are a couple people too that, even though they're not active wrestlers, I can technically turn them into active wrestlers if you guys want me to, so drop those names in the comments. And then leave a like if you haven't already, sub if you haven't already, and I hope y'all have a really wonderful day. Bye.